The world feels like it's falling about around our ears, and maybe it is. Certainly South Africa, we've got some nice localized problems. Globally, we've got even bigger problems. Let's start local. Clem Sunter, nice to see you. Scenarios locally. Politics, things are quietened down on nationalization, things are quietened down on chaos in the economy, but underlying the silence is big problems coming.
Yeah, well, against a backdrop of probably a flat global economy for the next 5 years, the elephant in the room is the fact that we have got to create a lot more jobs. We have to make a huge inroad on youth unemployment. And forever, the job market has changed. It was about, getting a decent degree to get into the civil service or into big companies like Anglo American. I actually now reckon that those days have certainly gone for the next 5 years, and therefore the vast amount of job creation is going to be in medium to small enterprise. So, yeah, things have calmed down, but the elephant in the room is still there, which is we have to do something now to create jobs. And I personally think that Jacob Zuma, instead of talking of creating 5 million jobs by 2020, he should have said 1 million new businesses by 2020. Because
it's a subtle turn of phrase. But here we sit with enterprise development being at the top of the private sector agenda. People are beginning to realize that, as you say, those are where the jobs are going to be created. If every single enterprise could create 10 jobs, and we've got 10,000 enterprises, thank you very much, we'll have those.
Yeah, but I'm not sure it is at the top of everybody's agenda. Have you really heard the politicians yet, and particularly the ones involved, like Abraham Patel and Trevor Manuel, talking about the real importance of entrepreneurship in this country and creating the environment to support small business? I still get the impression that they think that jobs are going to come from the normal areas of the economy.
From the fairies?
Well, from the orthodox parts of society, whereas actually it's going to require a completely different attitude to entrepreneurs in terms of providing a capital bridge from the informal sector to the formal sector, to actually create a labour environment which allows them to hire and fire, which allows them to bid for, I think, contracts for big business and become part of the supply chain to big businesses. And I would like to see the major issue now, because we call it economic freedom, that's the buzzword. How are we going to create economic freedom for entrepreneurs?
Tragically, you say the global economic crisis is going to cause a sort of a flat world for the next 5 years. Probably in 5 years' time, when somebody else has done it successfully elsewhere, we'll go, you know what we need to do? We need to copy Uzbekistan, because they've got this program where they encouraged entrepreneurs. We could lead the way, but we don't seem to lack. It's an ideological trap, perhaps.
Well, Bruce, that's why I've been personally calling for an economic CODESA. We've had the CODESA 1 and 2, which got us through the tipping point from a civil war into negotiating a reasonable constitution and having an election in '94. I think we should have another very focused debate on what are the main elements of a new economic blueprint in South Africa. Let the National Planning Commission do their job and possibly set the agenda for this economic CODESA, but really get some of the real players together to start actually addressing the issue rather than just, I'm afraid to say, leaving them on the sidelines, because business hasn't come to the party yet.
Well, business is terrified to invest. Business is looking at socio-political South Africa and saying, hold on a second, there's a global environment which is difficult, but there's an unpredictable political environment. Things have been quiet in the last while Julius Malema has been muzzled through his disciplinary hearing on issues unrelated to the economy, and things seem to have calmed down a bit, and suddenly you realize where the strings are being pulled. But at the same time, so big business is terrified to invest. Certainly we're not getting into big capital investment. It's got to be small business. What happens? Okay, here's the scenario part. We can wrap up. 5 years' time, we've lost another 1 million jobs in South Africa.
Yeah, I mean...
and that's a potential scenario, surely. The consequences of that.
It would be a huge red flag if we go down by another 1 million jobs. So does it mean our economy has become even more exclusive? And, when you have an exclusive economy, you have a serious amount of misery out there, which can be converted into political radicalism. So, for me, this 1 million new businesses by 2020 could create a completely different debate to 5 million jobs, because it would suddenly get people involved in the kind of environment that would be conducive to new capital formation, which is, as I said, a debate we simply haven't had at all in South Africa. And so I don't think enterprise development is yet where it should be, which is central to the future, as opposed to being a nice issue to discuss occasionally.
Next time I see the President, I'll ask him to put it top of his agenda. Clem Sunter, he is the thinker of South Africa, the man pushing very, very hard. Maybe he needs a little bit of support to nudge policymakers in that direction.